So today I'm going to talk about how do I handle comments which are hurtful from people around, or which feels like a judgment from people around, or which feels like a criticism from people around, and and it impacts you a lot. I'm going to give my own personal examples because I have navigated such situations in my life where people comments have brought out that grief, that sadness, that shame, that feeling of lack in me so strongly that it it made me feel a lot of things which I have been avoiding for so long. So let me start with a personal story, right? And it goes like that. Growing up, I was like on the skinny side, right? I was very thin and I used to get all kind of, comments from people that you don't eat anything, you will fly away with the wind, or, you know, those kind of comments which you get, right? You're like a matchstick. So, and this kind of comment came so frequently on me that I kind of accepted all of that. I believed in all those messages which was being thrown at me that, what I look and how I look and how I am, it's just there's something wrong in it. And that is why people are commenting about it. I have to get something done in order to, be something, you be someone else, so that this kind of comment just stops, right? The reality is those comments never stopped for me. It continued, right? It continued to the point where where even a small comment or a sarcastic remark from someone unintentionally, maybe that's what I want to believe, used to fire me up. I used to feel so much when I used to get all those comment. Imagine all these comments which came when I was very young, right? It came at a point where I was not able to, understand ki, how do we deal with comments like that? How do we stand up for ourselves? How do we say people, hey, I don't like your comment. That's it, right? And now growing up, and I was still navigating those situations, right? And it felt so much because the my body felt this emotions for a very long time. So whenever someone made a remark, it just acted as a catalyst. It felt like so true, and it felt like, oh my God, I'm just not able to deal anything. I used to break, I used to start crying, and it made my belief stronger that there's something wrong with me, the way I look, or the way I carry myself, or the way I'm just right now. I need to change something about myself. Right. So sometimes, I'm not saying always, like sometimes people do make hurtful comments which are like not really necessary because they're unconscious or they are themselves in a journey where they are navigating their own life, right? So, but in situations like I was sharing with you, comment like this became a portal for my own, healing. It gave me a chance to show me what was hidden down there, to bring it on the surface so that I can see what happened. What did I suppress? Where did I go now? And how do I heal this right now? How do I process all of this to, you know, to feel better, to let go all those charges. So, and of course, I took help to navigate the stories which was very heavy on myself. And so today when someone tells the intensity of the, emotion which I feel when someone tells me today that, you look small or you look thin, it doesn't bother me that much because I did work on it. I did work on it with help from someone. So sometimes comment and judgment from people like this, it's like a test universe throws at you to look at what you're missing and look what is your next step for healing. So sometimes it can become a portal for your own growth and on your own healing. Second is it the the reason why you feel so much hurt and triggered by this comment is also because it all goes to the point of how much do you value yourself. When you don't value yourself, when you don't know what you want in your life, when you don't know your needs, when you don't know your desire, when you have lived life to please people, when you have lived life to go according to what people want you to do in order to impress people, every comment feels like you're not impressing someone. Every comment adds to that your belief of you're not enough. There's something, say there's something wrong with in you, and that is why these comments are being targeted at you. You taking it very personally. So of course, it is a value issue too sometimes that you haven't developed your own, core. That's what you said. You haven't developed your own core of what is it that you believe in? What is it that you believe about yourself? What do you want for yourself? So when you're too much negative about yourself only, someone's else's criticism, it just fires up. It gives you a certainty. Okay, you see your brain tells you, okay, see, this is what I told you, right? And their comment is just adding to it. Their judgment is just adding to it, and that is why it feels so much. So it's also a self-worth issue sometimes, right? It's a self-worth issue because you're not able to take in what has been thrown at you and you're accepting it. And why do you accept it? Because there's a resonance, there's a belief that somewhere that person is right. That I don't know if you know this quote that such truth is very painful, right? Sometimes you find some truth in that statement, and that is why you feel so much. Right. So it boils down to that reason also that you don't value yourself enough, and that is why you are like an open vessel that कुछ भी आपके पास फेंका जा रहा है, you're just trying to absorb it. Whatever is being thrown at you, you're just absorbing each one of those comments, each one of that, judgment, and you're taking it personally because you haven't, you haven't decided what is yours. You haven't made a boundary for yourself. So you're absorbing everything that is being thrown at you, and you're taking it personally. So third is it's more like a boundary issues that you haven't made the proper filter of how much to allow in and how much to let go, how much to make it about yourself and how much to just let know and understand that people are in their own journey. Whatever they speak, whatever this, you know, speak, it speaks about themselves. It's not about you. It's about their journey they're going through. Also, it's very important to understand that when you receive a comment like this, which may seem like a criticism, it's wise to understand when to respond and when not to respond, right? And It's a wise thing to do, to not respond to everyone, to not give everyone that importance. It is sometimes wise to just create such strong boundaries that, it doesn't matter. Let them say. Like, suppose you're creating a video on social media, right? And some XYZ comes and tell you, "Hey, what you're speaking is rubbish. You don't know what you're speaking." If I take that personally, right, I will be navigating all this, throughout my life, right? It If it would hurt me so much, then I'll not be able to do what I'm doing right now. So that is one kind of boundary, that not everyone deserves a response. Not everyone deserves an attention. Sometimes people just say what they want to say, and it's nothing related to you. They can say whatever they want. They have the freedom, but you also have the freedom to respond and save your energy for the right people. Another thing is I have written down the notes, so I'm looking at my notes when I am speaking. Actually, I've written a lot of things, and I'm just trying to, make a gist of everything I've written. And also, there's one thing also I want to mention is sometimes, when so many criticism and judgments are thrown at you, growing up, and you have navigated situations like this a lot in your life. Like, there has been a case of bullying, there has been a case of, growing up with parents where there was a lot of judgment, where you did not feel understood, or you did not feel loved as in, right? You kind of close your heart. It's like your heart chakra is kind of blocked. You don't allow, anything. Just, it kinds of feels a lot of constriction in your system. So next time when someone put a comment randomly or put a joke randomly, it feels very heavy. It feels like you have closed yourself entirely. And that's also one crux of how do you navigate. Like, when a trigger comes up, when someone says something which really triggers you, instead of closing yourself and, getting back into the same old pattern, old wound of hiding and not being able to embrace this, or not being able to face this, when you let your heart, open, when you feel the hurt, when you allow yourself to feel whatever you are feeling, you embrace the pain, you embrace the hurt, and you let it soften a little. "Oh, okay, this person told me something and it's hurting. I'm going to sit with this hurt. I'm going to sit with this pain." And when you sit with that pain, when you sit with that hurt, it softens. It kind of release. But if you feel like, oh my God, so much, it's just I can't do it. And if you go in that mode again, then your days will be like miserable. You will be holding so much resentment for these people, for yourself, for having not been able to take a stand for yourself. Also understanding how much importance do you want to give to these people, right? That's a very important distinction you have to make for yourself. Okay, how much importance must I give to this person? In which uh, place do they have in my life? Are they very close? Are they are in, are they, do they belong to some other circle? Do they belong to as a strangers? So there's a very very beautiful tool, right? Which I was taught by my coaches. And it is like making circles around you, right? In the first circle, you place people who are important to you and who also know you very well. In the second circle, you place people who are important to you, but they don't know you that well. In the third circle, you can place people who are like third party connections, strangers, right? So, whenever you get that comment, understand whether it's worthy of a response or not. If it is worthy of response, if you feel that there is a possibility of talking it out and conveying this to this person and then making the relationship a little better, and maybe you'll get some understanding, from that person, and it will make your relationship better, then of course do it. Of course take that initiative to confront, to respond, right? In in but most in some situations you don't have to, like example, if I told you of social media example, if maybe example is you're just crossing by and just overheard someone talking back, uh, then it's totally your call. You want to respond, you don't want to respond, right? And if sometimes we are not able to respond, right, because sometimes during those situations we really start feeling all those past memories of where you have felt the same, and sometimes you're not able to respond. So also having that compassion for yourself when you're not able to respond, and maybe next time I'll respond, maybe next time I will have this understanding that okay, I can express to this person that their comment did not feel good, but not from a place of anger, not from a place of, from a place of anger when I'm saying all kind of things to this person, but from a place where I am trying to understand what do they really meant. I'm looking to clarify things with them. At the end, realizing also that your life is really bigger than this comments and this judgment and this criticism from people, right? You will have judgment, you will have criticism from people, and that's very normal part of growing up. That's also an indication that you're growing up, and that is why you receive comments like this from people. If you're not growing and if you're pleasing everyone, um, you just are living life in the way you're supposed to, then I mean that's not a way you live life, right? You want to live life. When you're growing, when you're outgrowing, and when you are crossing that level of growth, personal growth for yourself, of course you grow. Of course, there will be people who don't vibe with you. Of course, there will be people who who don't resonate with you any longer, and they judge you for that, and that's perfectly okay. And that kind of being okay will develop when you develop that sense of self-worth, that sense of core within yourself. When you develop this feeling in within yourself that right now, whoever you are at this moment, in whatever form you are, however, no matter how you look, what you do, what you're not doing, you are just enough for yourself in this moment. And having this belief very strong in you that this moment, however you are, is enough. And then when you build that belief, when you build that core, this comment don't affect you so much. They don't take away so much of your energy. And when you know preserve your energy for most important things of our life, then when you grow, when you focus on what you want to do instead of focusing on things you don't want to do, because we have to understand we have limited energy. We cannot just go out and fight out and with every random person we meet. We have to create boundary. We have to understand where do we want to spend our energy on, whether to spend our energy in just navigating all this kind of comments and criticism from people, or whether to focus and bring back our energy to our goals, to our dreams, to what we want to achieve in life. And that is also a choice you create, right? And sometimes you're not able to make that choice. And that is when you take help of someone. Right? If you are someone who is navigating something like this, criticism, judgment, and it feels very much, I would definitely recommend you to work with someone and uh, build that, build the core of yourself, build your own self-worth, build your own power, build that belief for yourself. And then this comment will be just like another comment for you. It will not bother you. Sometimes it bothers you even. The charge of it will be so less. You'll be in a better position to, respond, to deal, to choose what you want to do with your time, to make better use of your time, to invest on things you really want to do, to devote time to things to you really want, instead of thinking about and giving energy to this, because it also takes away of your energy, a lot of your mental energy, physical energy. uh, a time, a precious part is like your time, right? I also do this kind of work with my clients. I take one-on-one coaching sessions with my clients, and I help them to believe in themselves, to build that core of themselves, to build their self-worth, to make them feel more confident, more self-aware, right? And grow in this, journey, grow in this level of, my work is a blend of mindset work, spiritual work, regression work, and all kind of, the tools which I have learned from my coaches, and the kind of transformation which I have got in my life because of them. So if you want to do work, you want to, work with me one on one, you can always book a call with me on TopMed. The link will be in my, YouTube uh, list, YouTube channel page, and then there you can book a first free 90 minutes call with me, and then we can understand like whether we are a good fit to work together, and then we can sign up to see the kind of possibility that we can create for you, right? I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, you can put down in the comments, and I will look at it and I'll try to respond to them as when I can. Thank you so much.